Alright, welcome back to our second video in our SolidWorks series. I said before and showed you we're going to make a blink camera. We're going to start with the base. This is what the base is going to look like, but I'm going to recreate this for you. Through it, we're going to show the line tool, the revolve tool, how to do a fillet and an extrude. Pretty basic operations, but that's where we're going to start. I think this is the easiest part of the three, so we're going to start with this one. All right, so first thing you want to do, you want to go up to a new design. You hit Part, Open a Part, and it gives you this window that we had talked about before. I had mentioned to you before about what planes to pick. So for this one, I'm going to pick a front plane, and I'm going to hit Sketch. Now, here's one of the reasons why I'm going with the front plane. I'm going to create a half of that base on here, and then I'm going to revolve it. So I want to look straight on, like I'm picking it up and looking at the camera straight on. That's the piece that I'm going to create. And I'm going to use the origin point here to be the middle of the base, the bottom middle of the base. Okay? So let's get started. We're going to immediately come out with our line tool. Now, we don't know exactly what the shape is. We don't know what the sizes are. I've kind of worked ahead and I know what they are. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw kind of what the shape might look like. We kind of have a slant. It kind of goes in. Then it goes up. Then there's another slant. And now notice, again, there's different ways you can do this. But I'm just kind of creating what I believe it's going to look like. Now, it's obviously not to scale, but once I have the shape, in other words, when I look at this, I'm going to go to my view where it shows a good side view. Once I look at it, I'm going to draw this half. And I drew this directly from the part, taking measurements. So depending on what you're going to do, that's sometimes the best way to do it. Completely up to you. But now I'm going to add my dimensions. So I've used the line tool. I've created, okay, it looks something like this, maybe, sort of. But now I have to go in and put my dimensions. I'm going to use my Smart Dimension tool. And I know that my base is about 1.125, which is 1 1/8. And then I'm going to start putting in my other dimensions here. Well, I got lucky on that one. That's 0.25 exactly. And I know that from this line to this line, I am 0.228. And again, these are just measurements that I took based on me measuring the actual part. I know that from this line right here, I'm going to bring that one out. I know that's 0.25. And you can kind of see it's slowly coming into shape the way that I want it. I know that this line here, or my total height really, is 1.19. I also know that this is also, well, it's actually not 1.19, it's 0.1875, which rounded up, of course, is that. I know that this is really my radius. My radius is 0.44. And again, I got this information from directly measuring, and I know that the radius of this, I'm just going to put that right on the drawing, is 0.2. All right, so let me make sure, looking at all of those. I want this point here and that point there to be 0.375, 3/8. All right. And I think that is the dimensions that I'm looking for. What's nice is I can go back and change those anytime I want. But now I have a good idea Do I have a diameter of that? What did I define? Okay, we're going to go with this. If I got to change it, I can go back and change it. Not a big deal. So that is a half. It's a section view, half of what I want to draw, which really, if I looked at this and I divided it, except for this top part, ignore that. If I went straight down here, it's this piece. And I'm doing it this way. And I should mention, there are many different ways you can draw parts. A lot of people do it different ways. That's absolutely fine. I chose to do it this way to show you the revolve command. You're going to be using probably the revolve command quite often, so why not use it on this? I could have started by doing the base, extruding this, doing a loft here, another extrude. I could have done all that. I chose to do it this way. All right, so there's my basic shape. That's great. Now I'm going to go to my features, and I'm going to go to revolve. When I go to revolve, it gives me this in the left window, and it says my axis of revolution. That is the point that this 2D sketch is going to be revolved around to create a 3D sketch, and it's going to go around 360 degrees. So if you only want 180 degrees, you can do that. I'm doing all the way around. So as soon as I touch that axis, you can see it creates that for me. I'm going to hit OK. And there is my base starting to take shape. Now, when you look at the part itself, a lot of pieces are rounded. So what I'm going to do, well, actually before I do that, I'm going to now do a small extrusion from the top. This is where it's going to connect. The camera will come down on top of it, and I have to have a little extrusion there to be able to connect to. So I'm just going to do a top view. I've chosen this surface. So when I go to sketch, now that blue surface is what I'm actually going to be sketching on. I want a round extrusion from there. So I'm just going to pick that middle circle. Don't remember exactly what that dimension is. I think it's 5/8. Well, 0.58. I think it's 0.625, which is 5/8. I'm going to go with that. Now that I have it dimensioned, I'm going to move that, and you can see that that is on that surface. I'm going to go to Features. I'm going to do an Extrude, and you can see it popped up there a little bit. Okay, now this is an extrude, so it's going to give me material. As I mentioned before, I can take that arrow and adjust it to whatever I want. Right now it's set at 0.10, which I think is the default, but I want it to be 1/8 of an inch, so I'm going to go 0.125. Then I'm going to hit OK, and there it is. All right, so that is my base, but it doesn't quite look like that. There's a lot of radii in here. So I'm going to go to my fillet command. And I'm going to, well, first the thing I'm going to do, this 0.1 is way too big. Again, that's a default. In fact, I think I'm going to go 0.02. The nice thing is I have full preview on. So when I start clicking what I want to be radiused, or have a fillet on, not radiused, a fillet on, which are going to be all these surfaces, it will show me what it actually is. And I'm going to put one here, and I'm going to put one here. And I'm going to hit OK. And that kind of cleans up a little bit. All right, so that is our base. I'm now going to, I want to show you this feature again. If I go to my view menu here and I click this, notice how all those extra lines go away. Much prettier view if you're going to print it out. Okay, that's kind of how you would want it, I guess. But it gives you a nicer view. I'm going to keep it here for right now because I'm going to come over and I'm going to add some color to this. Now, it's white. My camera that I copied from is white. And it's pretty glossy. So I'm going to go with this white high gloss plastic. I'm going to drag it over, release it, I'm going to pick body, which means pretty much the whole thing, and I'm going to click OK. And you can see it changed it. To me, that's cream color, but whatever. That's what it picked. And I can, again, get rid of all those lines if I want to. So this is our base. We've gone over the revolve command, the line command, how to do an extrusion, and the fillet. So this is the easiest part probably out of all of them. I wanted to get this into one video, and I think I did that, and it wasn't too long. But now we're going to go on to the camera. All right, so on to the camera, the first video to create the actual camera.